Hi everyone, I hope you all are doing well. Today's topic is related to one of the best novels of Moni Mohsin, Tender Hooks. As you know, in the previous videos, we have discussed one of the works of Moni Mohsin that was The Diary of a Social Butterfly. This novel, Tender Hooks, as well as The Diary of a Social Butterfly, there are many characters which are similar. But we will discuss those characters as well at the end. So first we will go through the Tender Hooks setting, characters, summary, theme, symbolism, and then at the last comparison between The Diary of a Social Butterfly and Tender Hooks. So if we talk about the setting of the novel of Tender Hooks, first we should know about that what does tender means. Tender means actually here that is about or that has been used for young and immature. And if we talk about hook, so hook means to cause someone or oneself to become dependent. I hope you have gotten these 2 points, these two words, that what does tender and what does hook mean. Now, if we talk about its setting, the setting of the novel is primarily in Lahore, Pakistan, specifically with the hyper-privileged and insulted world of its wealthy elite. Now, Lahore is a place where many healthiest or many wealthiest people live. The elite class live there. And in this novel, different words or different letters has been joined. For example, the word GTS has been used in this novel, which means get togethers. The setting is characterized by elaborate social events, kitty parties, lunches, and high tea gatherings that serve as the main stages for gossip and social maneuvering. Now, in this novel, different parties has been showed, and they enjoy the lunch, they enjoy the kitty parties, they enjoy the social events, especially the butterfly, who is a character in this novel, the main character, we can call it protagonist of the novel. Then we have insulted Bow. The characters live in large, expensive houses with multiple servants driving luxury cars and wearing designer brands. The physical setting emphasizes their detachment from the common reality of Pakistan, which is open reference to real world news headlines that the characters mostly ignore. Now, as I say to you that in this novel, different classes has been showed, especially the wealthy class or the middle class has been showed. So if we talk about wealthy class, they always have a luxury cars, wearing designer brands, and they have multiple servants who serve them, and they have expensive houses. So this is the actual setting of this novel. Now, if we talk about the characters as well as the last point of the setting, that is time period. That might be a question in your mind that what is the time period? So the story is set in contemporary Pakistan, reflecting the country's political and social instability, terrorism, political corruption, which serves as a stark, contrasting backdrop to the main characters' trivial concerns. So this novel is actually or has been set when the situation or there was a we can call it like there was a huge distraction in Pakistan at that time. For example, like instability was there and corruption was on high, on the peak level. So that's the main point in this novel. As you know that in the previous video, which I have discussed about the Diary of a Social Butterfly, the same thing was happening. But in that novel, there was some political events. For example, Benazir Bhutto assassination has been discussed in that video, in that diary. So characters, if we talk about characters, we are having the first character, that is Butterfly. She is the narrator and protagonist of the novel, a privileged, shallow. Do you know what does shallow means? Shallow is actually lack depth of intellect or knowledge. The person who is having less knowledge or lack of knowledge. So we call that person or that girl or that boy shallow guy, shallow boy. So the same here, this thing is happening with Butterfly. Gossipy. She is actually gossipy, socialite. Sorry. She narrates in a unique, humorous, and malapropism. Malapropism means we can call it the person who uses the words wrongly. Malapropism means the person who uses words wrongly. So field English, like the way Butterfly is using, the primary satiric vehicle, her limited understanding and self-absorption frame the critique of the entire social class. Then we have the other character, that is Auntie Pussy, and Butterfly's aunt and Jonker's mother. Jonker is another character which is just beneath. So she is actually the aunt of Butterfly and the Jonker's mother, extremely demanding and obsessed with the maintaining the family's social standing. She is actually rich, so she wants to maintain the family's social standing, the driver of the main plot, and she represents the rigid adherence to class, status, and tradition within the elite. So she is actually, as I say, that she is actually rich. So she has a lot of money. She has a lot of resources, where she wants to find a wife for her son. Her son is actually Jonker's. So Jonker is actually Butterfly's cousin, twice divorced. He has been divorced twice, and the object of the bride hunt. So here you should consider the word, or you should see the word bride hunt. Means we can call it that they are hunting for the bride. We can call it in Urdu दुल्हन का शिकार करना, या दुल्हन के शिकार में है. ठीक है. So that's the point here. The passive catalyst for the events, he highlights the open, superficial nature of arranged marriages and divorce among the wealthy. This thing is really common even in Pakistan as well as in other parts of the world, where the wealthy people, they have a high ratio of divorce. Pumpkin, that's the fourth character. Butterfly's closest friend and confidant, equally obsessed with gossip and social appearances, acts as a sounding board for Butterfly, amplifying the absurd dialogue and highlighting the collective vanity of their circle. So she's actually the best friend of Butterfly, and she always acts, or she always meets with Butterfly whenever they join any party, so they both are together. Then we have the last character, Janu. Janu is actually the Butterfly's long-suffering husband, and he is such a noble man in this novel, who usually offers brief, dry, and often ignored commentary on real-world events. So as I say that he's a innocent or noble, but does not do commentary on anything. For example, on world events, especially the Butterfly does, but he does not do these things. And the voice of reason and reality, though one that constantly drowned out by Butterfly's social concerns. And this character has been discussed in the previous work of Moni Mohsin as well, that was The Diary of a Social Butterfly. If we talk about summary and plot, so plot is actually the bride hunt, as I explained in Urdu as well, that what does this word mean. So the main plot is driven by Auntie Pussy's disparate insistence that Butterfly find a suitable third wife for her son, Jonkers. The criteria for the bride are strict. She must be from a good background. Again, you should see the word, or you should think about the word background. So actual word is BACK GROUND ground, but here they have used the word background, means a high status family, beautiful and possess all the qualities the previous wives lacked. So the Jonker's mother is actually hunting for a wife for her son Jonker, and she wants those qualities which she needs, which she thinks that those qualities were missing in the previous two wives of Mr. Jonker. The quest begins. Butterfly, flattered by the importance of her mission, throws herself into the task. She begins attending every major social event of GT, scanning the eligible young woman like a scout. So again, here the Butterfly is also working hard for them. I mean, for his cousin, for his cousin. Yeah, that is Mr. Jonker. So for what? For bride. Meeting candidates. She introduces several potential candidates to Jonkers, but each one is dismissed by either Jonkers or Auntie Pussy for petty reasons. One is deemed too modern. Again, the word you can call modern, the actual spelling is here. Another's family is new money, and another has a bad vibe. So as I said that Butterfly also tries to convince them, to convince their family, means her Auntie Pussy, as well as her cousin, Mr. Jonker, for the marriage, and she facilitates, she gives meditation, but still they reject all the we can call it proposals, because they don't like those all which are suggested by Butterfly. Then we have social mishaps and gossip. As the hunt continues, Butterfly provides a running commentary on the trivial dramas, fashion disaster, and endless gossip of Lahore society. Her own domestic life involving her servants and husband, Janu, adds further hilarious chaos. So again, here the characters has been discussed. The hunt continues, and they are searching for the bride, but still they didn't find. So what happens actually? At the last, the failed match. Butterfly becomes set on a particular girl, a seemingly perfect match. However, the girl's family discovers Jonker's history and the demanding nature of Auntie Pussy, and the match falls through. Finally, they find a proposal, but unfortunately, when they do research, or when they go for research about their past history of Mr. Jonkers and his mother, so they think that it's really not working, so they just draw back. Now the resolution, I mean, what's the ending of this novel? After numerous failed attempts, Jonkers ultimately decides to find his own partner, choosing a woman who does not meet Auntie Pussy's strict criteria, thereby ending the frantic status-driven search and concluding the novel's central plot line. So here we can say that after numerous failed attempts, Jonkers ultimately decide to find his own wife by himself. He does not want to involve her mother, because she always rejects the proposals. So that is why he wants to go for this thing by himself. Now, what's the theme of this novel? So first of all, we are having the theme of social satire and class divide. This is the central theme. Mohsin uses Butterfly's ridiculous perspective to mock the shallowness and vanity of the Pakistani elite, the obsession with the designer goods, foreign travel, and social ranking, whose old money versus new money is constantly ridiculed. Then we have the disconnect from reality. That's also one of the most important theme, where many of us are always disconnected from the reality. Means what the reality is, we don't accept that. We made our own world. So the reality is that you are poor. For example, in this novel Butterfly, but still she thinks, she acts, she behaves like a wealthy. But where there are many things where the person gives indication that I am poor, or I am not of your class. So then we have superficiality of tradition and marriage. That's one of the best point. For example, in this novel, you might have seen that there are many things which has been discussed, but one of the most important thing that was bride hunt, and that's the sore reality of our society, where we find bride, and we do what we always think that she should have this, she should have that, she should have this, she should have that. So these all things are happening in our societies. The same here, the auntie is also doing the same thing for her son. So like here they have written about searching a maid that enhances or maintains the family social capital and reciprocity of Izzat. We can call it Izzat. So this is the point. Then we have language and identity. Butterfly's unique dialect, often referred to Urduish, a blend of Urdu and English, and filled with malpropisms like tender hooks or good background for good backgrounds. is a thematic tool. It reflects a class that is educated but culturally rootless, trying to adopt Western mannerism while fundamentally remaining Pakistani. Wow, that's also important point. For they say in this paragraph that we as a Pakistanis always try to copy. I mean, like it's not about copy, but it's like we are adopting the dialect of someone else. So, for example, if someone calls my name is Abdul Rahman. So, what the Angrez will call it? Angrez will call it Abdul Rahman. So, I mean, like if they call this name in Urdu, so it's really difficult for them as well. But we also try to do that. But still, we do a lot of mistakes. Like here, the Moni Mohsin has written that uh, language identity sometimes they call tender hooks, tenter hooks. They call instead of calling good background, they call it big good big ground. Now at the last we have symbolism. So now we have symbolism. The first symbol we are having that is the designer handbag. For example, Hermes Channel. This bag symbolizes status, validation, and exclusivity. Exclusivity means Butterfly and her friends' intense focus on proving the authenticity of their bags shows their identity is tied to material wealth and external approval. Then the second symbolism we are having that is the news headlines. They are a powerful symbolic counterpoint. They represent the real Pakistan, like the chaos, struggle, and political turmoil that the main characters actively shut out of their lives. And the third symbolism that is Butterfly's name. While her actual name is never revealed, the nickname Butterfly symbolizes lightness and a short attention span. He flits from one trivial concern to the next, never settling on anything of true substance. Now, the last question which I wanted to discuss that was the difference between the tender hooks and uh, the Diary of a Social Butterfly, because both are written by Moni Mohsin, and I said there are many characters which are similar in both texts. So the first one, if we talk about the origin or structure of the Diary of a Social Butterfly, book 1, it is mostly a compilation of columns from the Friday Times newspaper starting in 2001. And if we talk about the origin and structure of Tender Hooks, so it's a complete original novel written with a more cohesive plot line. And if we talk about the plot focus of the Diary of a Social Butterfly, so the plot focus of the Diary of a Social Butterfly is it is actually a chronological narration of various social events and gossip focusing on the butterfly's daily life and general social observations. And if we talk about Tender Hooks plot focus, so it's actually a single tidy focused narrative centered on the mission to find a suitable third wife for her twice divorced cousin Jonkers. And if we talk about time frame, so time frame of the Diary of a Social Butterfly, it spans a longer, more extended period, chronicling major historical events in Pakistan. Example, the assassination of Benazir Bhutto. And if we talk about the Tender Hooks time frame, so it focuses on a shorter, more concentrated time frame, roughly 3 months in 2009. And the last point, that is narrative feel. The narrative feel of the Diary of a Social Butterfly is more episodic, like reading a collection of separate diary entries. As I said, that there are many events which has been discussed in that diary. But if we talk about the Tender Hooks that by Moni Mohsin, so what's the narrative feel? How do you feel when you read this novel? So it will be like a traditional novel where events build directly toward a resolution. Resolution means ending. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. If this video has sparked your interest, I suggest you to like, share, comment, and to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Allah Hafiz.